All right, guys. So this is looking like that move here. The Lust card. So we have the sideways fluctuating rally precedes a decline, and then this big move reaching for distant resistance. The Lust card in action right here. However, this should turn into some sort of. It's the Ace of Cups, and it correlates to the Tower card. So this happens sometimes with the Tower card. Is you create the peak before the declines. Usually it's the decline, and there's a card preceding it that creates the peak. But there are cases where you see like mostly rally creating a peak with some decline at the end, and the Ace of Cups correlating to the Tower card, the Virtue card correlating to the Tower card, the Reversal card of Fortune. Um, Although I was expecting something more to take place in the middle of the day, unless I missed something. I don't watch the news, so and the high we have a breakout to reach the high, right? We have sideways rotation that ends with a fast sudden move higher near the low. Although I was expecting us to open lower. Interesting. I'm not going to get it right all the time, but that is frustrating. Can have the star there out of the open. Important price level highlighted here in the open. A little bit of a pullback. I'm advised to be cautious there. Queen of Cups, right? Yeah, it looks more and more like we're gonna have a reversal starting around the 27th, 28th. That's when we go on the 24th. We start the influence of Mercury retrograde. So basically everything from the 24th into that's theta. Crap. December 23rd. So everything from the 24th to the 23rd, that trend overall for the market should be revisited between the 1st of January and the 20th of January. Right, so most likely a turn or like a turnaround here. We're at the upper end of RSI on that's on a 5 minute chart, not just on a 1 minute chart. 1 minute chart we've already poked through. 5 minute chart we've kind of met it or just about to meet it. 15 minute chart we're at the upper end. Ooh, this is looking really toppy, you guys. But in any case, I think we end up higher tomorrow. We may have a little drop in the morning or something, but I think we probably end up higher tomorrow. I think this probably is like a correlation to the gain card actually right there. Right, with like a new high here around the 27th, 28th. We're most likely going to have new all-time highs here on the 27th, 28th. Based on how much we moved. Man, I'm so annoyed. I knew we were going higher like this, but I was looking for this drop, this little bit of a drop to enter into that just never came. Like 3 times I was looking for it, never came, and that's super frustrating. But it happens, you know. In any case, overall, pretty darn accurate thus far. That unicursal right there is still pretty interesting. Okay, because obviously we're going to go through this price level in the decline that I see in December. We'll drop through this price level here, the unicursal that we had midday. It's kind of like, let's see if it's probably that price level right there. Oops. Yeah, it's right there, guys. So like, that's an important price level. I'm going to mark it off as a unicursal price level. We have one here. We have one here. So my sense is that we're going to end up going 1, 2, 3. We're gonna go. It looks like we'll probably go below this 423 price level. Like I said a while ago, it just I was expecting it a little bit sooner, but we still have a decline coming. I wonder what these lines are. What are these lines about? I don't even remember putting these lines on. That gap's going to need to be filled. The 446 to 441 ish. That's going to need to be filled relatively soon. See how with this gap here, we continued downward, but then we came back, covered it, and then continued downward some more. So the move tomorrow at the beginning of the day, I'm advised not to chase that rally higher. Why I don't have that correlated, I do not know. And there's luxury, yeah. So we're pretty much on point as far as the sequence of events. It does look like we have a trough at the end of the day tomorrow. Yeah, see that? So that unicursal is marking this moment here. Like I said, there was like a some sort of quick scalp trade in here, and there you go. It was to the upside, however, but that would have been a pretty good trade, and it's marking off this price level right here as a unicursal. In other words, when we continue to go up after seeing the unicursal hexagram, what it's indicating is it's like a price level marker. We'll break down through that price level. It's an important price level in the midst of when we have our next like multi-day decline. It'll be one of like the important price levels, but we'll break through it and continue lower. And there's actually quite a few unicursals that we've marked off on the way up to the high that we'll see next week, or not next week, at the end of the week. Yeah, no, next week at the beginning of the week. We have highs this week, and then it's either the same high or higher highs on like Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, but Monday, Tuesday of next week. Hey, Robert. Appreciate it, my man. You're welcome. Thanks for the order. Orders, I should say. And if I haven't done the Cadena, I forget if I did, if I posted it yet. Let me see. The Cadena 10 year. Yeah, it hasn't been posted yet. So there'll be a Cadena 10 year coming out pretty soon. Looks like we have a Gala. If that, I feel like we're redoing Gala for some reason, but I don't quite remember. In any case, look out for Gala 10 year. That's coming out soon. We've got a Gold 10 year coming out. Curious about what, Robert? So we probably do some crisscrossing back and forth, like through this price level here, and then there should be a drop. It'll either take place in the last hour or it'll be like in the post market overnight. But I wouldn't rely on, like, I wouldn't be shorting into it. I would just expect it to be like lower than where we are now in the morning, and then we move higher uh, early on. Yeah, the 10 years coming out relatively soon. I could probably I need to edit it, but I could probably do it tonight. So it does look like we're gonna have an all-time high, guys. If you missed the very beginning of this live stream, it does look like we're gonna have an all-time high in the S&P 500 here on the 27th, 28th, maybe both days or somewhere right around there. And based on how much we moved, it's really realistic that that actually takes place. I will, however, just mention there's a big gap here that needs to be filled. Roughly 446 to 440.89 needs to be filled. You can see this gap right here. We continued lower, and then we turned around and we filled it. At least intraday we filled it, and then we came right here, we filled it, and then we came back. We continued downward afterwards, right? So there's a gap here, there's a gap here, there's a gap here. All these gaps need to be filled. All the way down here, this gap needs to be filled, and this is the 423 price marker unicursal that I was talking about earlier, right? So this unicursal up here, this unicursal right here, this unicursal, these all need to be based on what I've seen with with the unicursal hexagram. When we continue to go higher, based on that, we need to see a decline through all of these to fulfill what I see as like regular, unicursal behavior. Hermes is good. He's taking a nap right next to me. All right, so the gain card correlator's right there, or correlation. So as far as the sequence of events, it looks like gain takes place today. Probably continues into tomorrow. And then we're back on track on the 22nd. At the end of the day, we have the luxury card, which appears here on the 22nd. I think we probably have a low of the day here first thing in the morning, actually. It's kind of looking like that. Do I use crystals during my readings? I use crystals all the time, Robert. And there's crystals. There's crystal anchors in my little bag of anchors. Some of those are crystals. Like this is a Herkimer diamond. This is Tiger's Eye. There's labradorite too, but I'm not seeing it. Here's another Herkimer diamond. Labradorite here. So if we have a trough in the morning tomorrow, I would recommend probably opening up a long position there. Or in the morning on the 22nd might be more safer bet. If I did it the morning of the 22nd, it would be like it would have to be a day trade that I would exit out of like 2 to 3 o'clock, somewhere around there. Well, so Robert, it's not really the crystal that does it, right? The crystal is like a physical. It's like a physical anchor. This is why I call it anchor. It's a physical anchor, right? Something in the physical world that has an like some sort of intention or energetic frequency attached to it. But the intention or the energetic frequency, really, like you can get a crystal book and look and read and find out what the crystal means in the crystal book, and a lot of the crystal books will say the same thing. But when it comes down to it, it's going to be what you set as the intention, and that's all it is. You could enhance the reading without using the crystals. The crystals just, they're like a subconscious, like it's in your surroundings. You're not like consciously thinking about it, but it's there in your surroundings. So your subconscious mind is picking up on it, creating more of whatever that energy is attached to it. Yeah, I think the decline's probably going to end up being overnight, and I've been off on quite a few of the declines in the last like 2 weeks, dude. Overall, it's supposed to be bullish for the month with new highs at the end of the month. So that looks like it's panning out pretty well. But the declines that I was expecting, they like fizzled out. It's because it's such a bullish trend that what it does when you have such a strong trend in one direction, what it'll do is it'll kind of like dampen is a good word. It'll kind of dampen the effects of the cards with opposing energies. Hey, AV. Yeah, the next one's gonna have more than just tarot in it. See, still going higher even now. But there's that Ace of Cups there, which correlates to the Tower card. And like I was saying at the beginning of this session, is that with the Tower card, I've seen it happen a few times. Most of the time, the Tower card is like this short, like short bullish period that creates a peak and then a sharp decline, and the majority of the behavior is a sharp decline. But there are cases where you'll see like this notable rally in, or this rally into like a notable peak, and then the sharp decline, and like a lot of the energy will be the rally into the peak. It happens because the Tower is really talking about the destruction of a peak. So it happens, but it's not very common. This is one of the cases, I guess. Hey, Baby Yoda. Nvidia earnings after. What will the after hours? What will the prompt? Will that prompt the big move in the market? If so, up or down? Thanks. I got indolence for earnings results. That's like expectations are really positive, but they end up missing. That's what it seems like an indolence card would be. And, oops. Yeah, it's to the upside. I got the strength card, which is interesting because it's the theme card for tomorrow. So, um, and I got the indolence card there. Interesting. Hmm. Yeah, I think it's going to be to the upside, is my sense. I wouldn't be looking. I learned my lesson. I wouldn't be looking for many short trades between now and early next week. I would be looking for bullish trades. How's SPC looking for next week? Hermes, what are you doing? You want to come in my lap? Come on. Come sit in my lap. Goofball. You want to go down? I think we're pretty much near the highs. We've either met the highs or we're really close to the highs for SPC. Well, we had a high there on the 15th, so it's off by 1 to 2 days. The full card could be a high as well. Not often, but so that's pretty solid there. And then it's looking pretty toppy. We might see slightly higher price level on the 22nd. I think we'll probably see this price level or around these price levels that we're at right now for SPC probably 3 to 4 more times before the end of the month. Or sorry, not 3 to 4 more times. One, two. Yeah, 3 to 4 more times. Sorry. Doing a decline to 4,300. I don't see in the month of December. I do, or excuse me, in the month of November. I do see it in the month of December. Oops, wrong button. Um, yeah. So if you missed the beginning of this live stream, I was talking about unicursals. We have this unicursal that marked off today at this price level right here. We had a unicursal that marked off this price level right here. We had a unicursal that marked off this price level right here. What do you notice about those three? There's a gap here. There's a gap here. Sorry, there's a gap here. There's a gap here, and there's a gap here. All those gaps need to be filled. And so when you continue to go up, the unicursals are like price level markers for the next big decline. These are price levels that we should break down through. So not only will we see 430, but we're probably going to see prices south of 423. And there is a strong possibility that we see prices south of 409, which will be new lows for the year. But this will be after reaching new all-time highs next week. The December S&P 500 SPY reading, it posts publicly tomorrow. Every month on the 21st, roughly, the next month's S&P 500 prediction will be posted publicly, but there are ways that you could have gotten it way sooner. FYI, if you go to our website, Tarot for Traders, on the homepage, just scroll all the way to the bottom, sign up for our newsletter and receive the S&P 500 monthly. It's a free newsletter, and it gets you the S&P 500 monthly emailed to your inbox within like the first week of the prior month, so almost a month in advance. The only way you can get it faster... Sorry guys, I gotta write something down here. Yeah, so that's the earliest you can. That's the way that you get it the earliest for free. But if you want to get it the earliest period, you can go to SOMeta Posts. Right here at the top, early access to our posts. Click here to subscribe. $29 a month, $249 for the year. That gets you access, the earliest access that you can to all of the public posts that come out on YouTube. We're basically like over a month and almost 2 months in advance at sometimes. All of the January S&P 500 one-day readings have been up and posted on there for like probably 2 weeks now. The 1 month for January is coming out for early access probably in the next 2 to 3 days. That's for January, guys, you know, so you could get that earliest here through SOMeta Posts, Art Services, SOMeta Posts, and then early access, or you could get it for free by going to our, scrolling down to the bottom of our page and doing the newsletter. Otherwise, you got to wait till the 21st. No worries, AV. So it's... the more that we go higher here, the more it looks like we have a drop overnight. I would not be like attempting to go short here. That would not be wise. There may be a drop, but I've been off on these drops like probably 4 or 5 times in a row now. Super bad for me. But what that is we have a super strong trend. I say it occasionally. I'll tell you guys, like, if there's a super strong trend in one direction, what it does is it dampens the energies of the cards in the opposing direction. And that's what we basically have seen here. So if we don't have a drop here in the next 40 minutes, like a pretty notable drop, which would be like an Ace of Cups opportunity, and it correlates to the Tower card. If we don't see that, which we very well might not, because we've got this crisscross back and forth, and then the reversal here after that. But if we don't see it there, then we'll probably see it overnight or first thing in the morning. It may be what this rune is saying, not to chase as a decline first thing in the morning off of a high. Because we turn around, we go right back to it. Excuse me, I'm sorry, guys. But it looks like we may be having that decline commencing right now. It's hard to say, AV. We very well might. It looks like that's what's taking place, but it's not the clearest impression because we do have some like this is like crisscrossing back and forth through the same price level. I think we're probably going to see kind of like back and forth going on, and then likely an open, like maybe like an open lower in the pre-market or a decline off of a high into the open and then a big move higher out of it. We'll go from a high to down to like a trough around the open and then back to a high, it looks like. But I would say if we continue to decline here into the close, like if it just ends up being a decline into the close, then that would be an opportunity to open up a long position. Hey, Conrad. Probably, yeah, that's probably what it means. But what I would like to see to really give that more weight is more of a decline here into the close. Like I said, if we have this decline into the close, it's probably a pretty notable move to the upside overnight. But if we don't have that decline into the close, well, matter of fact, if we don't have that decline in the close, it's probably still a move to the upside based on how strong this upward trend is. It's dampening these. See, like look here, I'll explain. So like we've got a low at the beginning of the day, and we've got a high at the beginning of the day, and then we go back into another trough. It doesn't end up being a low; it ends up being a trough. And then we have another low here. Doesn't end up really being much of a low. It's more of a move to the upside, but there's a trough there. Peace and Jets suck. Yeah, that's probably what that means. But sometimes these anchors in like these kind of like tangent corners or these adjacent corners, I should say, end up not panning out as expected. But that's very much how I would read that, as there's a gap up here into these highs, and we probably decline from that gap up into the open and then go back to the high. Yeah, especially because we're still in bullish behavior here. Now we're definitely entering into like we're in the second half of November. Remember, plus or minus 2 weeks of wiggle room. So what we should see here is a pretty sharp drop. And I'm guessing probably that takes place in December. And look at that, I was right about that all-time high there. We don't want to chase that all-time high. It's going to be right on the cusp. Man, I nailed this reading, guys. I freaking nailed this reading. Wow. Especially if we have a lowest low at the very end of the month, which is possible. But again, see that's an adjacent kind of stone. It might just be throwing me off. Sometimes that happens. This S&P 500 reading where we predicted the high in on the cusp of January, or excuse me, on the cusp of November, December 2023. We did this reading. October 10th, 2022, 1:50 p.m. That's when the 2023 reading was created. This file right here. So the 2024 S&P has already been done. I forget if I posted this already. Let me check. Yeah, it has been posted. Okay. But, just for those of you like next year, remember like the 2024 was definitely made. Where is it? June 16th, 2023, 6 months before the year in question. I mean, no, I feel pretty strongly it's the lowest low, AV. We're going to take a tumble here. Right, this ruin here on the cusp is indicating possible highest high, which the Ace of Swords in many cases on a 1 year indicates a highest high as well. So you can see how I indicate that as a highest high. But this ruin, not only is it indicating a possible highest high, it's also indicating to avoid risk. It's indicating not to chase this rally. It looks like we probably have a pretty big tumble, and the December monthly comes out publicly tomorrow. Like I said, you guys can get it earlier through the free mailing list or through early access. But yeah, so it's looking like probably a lowest low at the very end of the year. And that also kind of like holds true when I look at the December. Hey, Weird Thomas, welcome. You want to know the price of Theta's low in the year 2026? Is that correct? I can try. Price levels are a little bit more difficult, but I can take a look. I just did a Theta 1 year, which is coming out, I think, on Thursday. Oops, that's I want the 10 year for Theta. I'm probably going to take advantage of this Black Friday sale. Right, so I have some price level information for 2024. But 2026, we're looking at all-time highs for Theta, like around the cusp of 2020, well, between 2025, 2026, 2027, probably on the cusp of 26, 27. But you have to give it plus or minus a year of wiggle room on these multi-year readings. I think it's probably the end of 2026. That'll be an all-time high. As far as a price level, I could tell you that it won't be as low as 58.6. It'll be higher than 58.6, probably substantially higher than 58.6. And by that I mean 58 cents, 58 and a half cents USD, basically. This price level right here. But really, price level information is the type of stuff that you get in the paid versions of our readings. Not only you get the price level information, we're now doing highs and low, the highest highs and lowest lows, are in the paid version. Uh, Performance compared to the S&P or to Bitcoin if it's a crypto is in the paid version. The best trades. What am I forgetting here? I'm forgetting something. Oh, price level information. Yeah. Appreciate it, Weird Thomas. You're welcome. So if just in case there's other new people on here as well, just want to make sure everybody's aware the whole purpose of the channel is to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. And the way that we do that is by following the rule of karma for the channel. You go to our resources tab here on our website, tarotfortraders.com. 5% of the profits from every profitable trade utilizing this information should be donated forward to one of these charities. You just click on a link and donate. It's super, super easy. Super easy. Right? And then 5% of the profit should be donated back to the channel here through one of these links. It leaves you at 90% of the money, also guarantees that you have abundance mentality, and you transmuted some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill, making this utilization of this information not just about the self, but about other people. And that is the crucial defining point. We must make sure if we're going to utilize this information to build wealth for ourselves, that we're also utilizing it simultaneously to help other people. If you just do the selfish role, the universe will not allow you to profit from this information. It'll shut off your computer. It'll make like your power go out. You'll get a phone call at like the most inopportune time, like the one moment when you should have closed out of the trade. I'm not kidding. The universe will make sure. So as long as you follow the rule of karma, you should be profiting pretty substantially from this information. Universe generally sends it back tenfold to people following through. I think it's probably right at the beginning of January, the bottom of the cycle, AV. If you're wondering, yeah, I think it's probably right at the beginning of January, like in the first few days, first 3 to 4 days. I've already done the markup for the January. I just haven't recorded it. In any case, guys, if you're interested in the January, I mean, it's still November. The December one is coming out publicly tomorrow. It's been on early access for almost a month now. The January monthly is coming out in the next 2 to 3 days. So if you have early access, you'll be able to see that. Or if you're on the mailing list, you'll be able to see it probably the end of next week. Otherwise, you got to wait till the 21st. The 21st of December. Yeah, like I said, crisscrossing back and forth, which means we probably have this drop overnight, um, and then we probably, like, I mean, not overnight, in the post market, and then in the pre market we probably open higher, and fall. Matter of fact, we in the pre-market we might open lower, have a rally higher, attempt to establish support at a high, and then turn around and decline into the open, followed by another move higher in the first hour and a half back to the highs. It's really kind of mixed there overnight, so hard exactly to say. But I would definitely, if I was going to pick a direction and I was going to trade, I would want to be on the bullish end. I don't think I'd want to be bearish right now. and this is probably pretty much gain energy continuing. Like we have the gain, a correlation to the gain card here. What am I talking about? Gain card on the 1 month, the gain card in the sequence of events, right, is the 21st. The star appeared today, so we're right on point as far as sequence events appeared today. But the day, we're back on track with the luxury card, which is the 22nd card, and we. I'll likely be on tomorrow morning, FYI, guys. I've been having some interesting mornings, but tomorrow I should be on. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Yeah, this is looking exactly as expected. We're going back into highs here. The high at the end of the day here, it looks like there's a bit of a move to the downside off of it and the trough in the morning tomorrow. Sideways rotation with a big move higher, ending that sideways rotation either at the end of the day on the 18th or on the 19th in the midst of that Ace of Swords energy, which should be a lot of price change. And remember, guys, the full card appeared when we look at the S&P monthly. Look where the full card appeared. It wasn't the S&P. What was it? Maybe it was. Maybe I was looking at Bitcoin. Hold on, that doesn't. What reading was that? I feel like I'm going crazy. Well, the full card's down there and it correlates too high, but there was a reading where we had the full card at the high. We were just looking at it. I thought it was S&P, but it's not. In any case, so the full card can often be like a top or a bottom. Either that or it's just a really opportunity, auspicious opportunity, I should say. All right, so back to Bitcoin. Right, the Fortune card often a high card. The Ace of Swords often a high card. So we probably have like consecutive higher highs here into the 21st. maybe not, but on the 21st we should definitely see, like on the cusp of the 20th 21st we should see a highest high. Man, we nailed that drop there. The unicursal. Taking us into a low. Wasn't quite a low, but it was pretty darn close. Wait, you want to come up? Good boy, Hermes. You want to come up, funny? No? Okay. Yeah, so looking like consecutively higher highs here over the next few days for Bitcoin. Actually, this looks more like a start of a decline based on the RSI. We might start declining here, and that could be three crisscrosses back and forth through the same price level. The Virtue card around the close, because there's strong correlations to the Tower card here at the end of the day. That's what makes me think there's some sort of drop here. But again, the trend is so bullish that it could really dampen the negative, or dampen the bearish energies that we're seeing. I think that's pretty much what's happened with a lot of the stuff over the weekend. What's going on with my collar? Hermes, what are you doing? Are you trying to kiss my face? You're funny, you know. You funny guy, Hermes. You funny guy, Hermes. Yes, I know. I love you too. You're a good boy. Give me kisses. Give me kisses. Thank you. Thank you. I love you too. When he gets really happy, he licks the air. Like right now, he's licking the air. Because he's very happy. You're funny, you know. No face licks. No face licks. Yeah, there we go. We got about 10 minutes left, so this will probably be a notable drop here in the last 10 minutes. It's hard to say, AV, if it's gonna if it's gonna be counter trend or not. It looks like it's probably the same trend, but there's also some possibility of highs at the end of the month. Like it might bounce back at the very end of the month, whereas the S&P, I don't think it's going to. I think it's gonna make new lows at the end of the month in December. You want to go back down, Hermes? Yeah, so guys, probably in the last minute before the market closes, would be an opportunity. If we continue to decline here, would be an opportunity to open up a long position. I do a partial just to be safe, and yeah, because if we're wrong and it doesn't gap up in the morning, or we don't have a high there in the morning, we should have higher price levels at some point on the 21st than we have today. But I really feel like pretty strongly there's a trough towards the second part of the day tomorrow. Yeah, so this drop here, guys, opportunity. I'd open up a partial long here in the last minute. I'd wait a couple more minutes probably. All right, my friends. With that said, I'm gonna roll. Thank you all so much for watching. Long position right around now for close tomorrow. Probably midday or a little bit before midday. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Oh, Billy Scott, welcome, my friend. Will Nvidia hit 1,000 by 2025? Oh, I don't have an Nvidia 10-year. Interesting. Well, I'm gonna have to do that. Will Nvidia hit $1,000 in 2025? Yes or no? I got a no for that, Billy. Oh, I do have one? Interesting. So where did it go? I must have accidentally erased it or something. I could have sworn I had one. I'm gonna have to copy and paste this or screenshot this so I have the image.
We all have a choice.
Most people.
But there you have it, guys. We're already kind of turning around there. Yeah, I'm gonna do an updated NVIDIA because this was an old 10-year before I did markups for 10 years or anything like that. I'll do an updated version. And there should be an NVIDIA 1 year coming out, at least the public version. It won't have like the trades and all that stuff. With that said, guys, I'm gonna roll. Thank you so much for watching. As always, make sure to follow that rule of karma. You do so here at the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders. 5% of the profit should be donated forward to one of these charities. 5% of the profits back to the channel. Leaves you with 90%. Make sure to spend that money out of love. As long as you do that, the universe is going to set it back to you tenfold for being an angel investor of the channel, my friends.